coming to you from Las Vegas. This is known as Warzone Live, Monday through Friday. Now at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Great to be with you. All kinds of things happening. Economic issues are my number one thing. Border issues are my number one thing. DEI issues are my number one thing. We had Don Trump Jr. yesterday, and we finish up with Laura Trump today. Laura, Wayne Allyn, how are you? We got a big guest and a great interview today with Dr. Oz with us right now.
Good to see you. I like your tie, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great to see you. Always great to have you on the show.
Wayne Allyn Root, happy to see you again on the cutting edge of things on your show, whether it's medical, political, you name it, you're on top of it. So just great to hear that. Great to hear that.
So wonderful to be with you again, Wayne. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be with you tonight.
It's great to see you, Wayne. How you been?
Anytime, Wayne. Great to see you.
Hey, Wayne. Great to see you, brother.
Hey, Wayne. Good to be with you.
Wayne, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Lots going on.
Doing great, Wayne. Glad to be here.
Well, thanks, Wayne. I don't see myself as a hero. I'm just trying to keep this community safe.
This is The Warzone, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. 2.5 million unique daily readers. Also on Rumble under Wayne Root, Wayne Allyn Root, or Warzone. Then on weekends, we got our big show, America's Top 10 Countdown on Real America's Voice TV. While everybody else is giving opinions, I give solutions. And some of them Trump takes, some of them he doesn't. I wish he'd take all of them. This is the Wayne Stream Media. No more mainstream media allowed in. Only Wayne Stream Media, meaning raw truth and in-your-face mother trucker information. The Root's on fire. Welcome to my show, Warzone Live. Monday through Friday, official podcast, The Gateway Pundit, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
Warning! The Root's on fire! You're about to experience the most high-octane, pedal-to-the-metal controversial show of your life. Please buckle up and hold on tightly. This station is not responsible for injuries. This is Wayne Allyn Root, raw and unfiltered, with America's favorite conservative rock star. Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. What time is it? It's time for war! Here's your host, 100% raw truth, 100% American made, the warrior, Wayne Allyn Root.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root. The Root is on fire. I was just texting back and forth with a friend of mine on the East Coast. He was asking me what I'm up to, and I said, well, I work 24 hours a day. I fight for America 24 hours a day, except when I'm in the gym and when I'm taking care of my dog. I said, those are the only two exceptions. I said, I feed my dog, I water my dog, I play with my dog, I walk my dog. And I said, I just realized my dog can't survive without me. He's a Democrat. Bubba is a Democrat. Bubba needs welfare 24 hours a day. He's a Democrat. All right, I wrote a commentary today, one of the more serious ones I've ever written, so I had to start with a laugh, right? These are the 5 most dangerous and deadly threats to America, but I come with solutions. Here are the 5 actions President Trump must implement immediately to save America. I hope you're on my team. There are 5 terrible, horrible, awful, dangerous, deadly, tragic threats to America's future staring us in the face. Number 1, rigged and stolen elections, which throughout history is the communist way to gain power and maintain power forever. So we're dealing with communists. Number 2, communism and the communist color revolution going on in America today right in front of our eyes. Number 3, the radical Muslim invasion of America, the in-your-face Jew hatred, something we've never had in the history of America, and the Islamification of major cities like New York City. And every city Democrats run have become Islamified. Number 4, the merger of communists and Islamic extremists to destroy America. They're now best buddies. They're brothers, comrades in arms, kissing cousins. With many of these death to America and death to Jews, extremists, and radicals about to join Congress and the U.S. Senate. Number 5, the insurrection against President Trump and the MAGA agenda by Democrat politicians, government officials, and judges, in particular, politicians siding with foreign, criminal, illegal aliens over the laws of America and the U.S. Constitution. These 5 threats have the potential to destroy America, American exceptionalism, the great American middle class, capitalism, economic and personal freedom, and free speech. And that is why they must be stopped now. Draw a line in the sand. And the only man who can do it is President Donald J. Trump. Here are 5 simple, realistic, doable solutions. As you know, I'm the solutions guy. Anyone can complain, and I'm good at it. I'm the best complainer in America, but I'm also the solutions guy with the best creative solutions in America. Number 1, first, before dealing with anything else, we need to stop these communist and radical Muslim suicide bombers from rigging and stealing the midterms. To be blunt, everything else pales in relation to this threat. If President Trump and the GOP lose the midterms, the game is over. The Trump presidency is neutered. The MAGA agenda is stopped cold. The secure border and mass deportation is suddenly at risk of being reversed. And we are one election in 2028 away from the end of America as we know it. There's only one way to stop Democrats from rigging and stealing the midterms. President Trump needs to declare a presidential national security emergency for elections. How many times have I said this? Thousands and thousands of times. This is the only way at this late stage to mandate voter photo ID, proof of citizenship, an end to unlimited mail-in ballots, ballot harvesting and ballot drop boxes, an end to counting ballots past Election Day, and replacing corrupt machines that can be hacked and manipulated to change votes with paper ballots. The SAVE Act is too little too late. The odds of it passing are between slim and none. But even if it passes, it is weak. It never deals with corrupt machine voting, and it will be challenged in court instantly. The SAVE Act will never be in effect for the midterms. My idea for a national security emergency cannot be challenged in court. As per a 1983 Supreme Court ruling, it can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress, which will never happen. My election security expert, John Goodman, has done the research and confirmed this as a fact. Thank you, John. In other words, the minute President Trump declares and signs a national security emergency, we've got secure elections, and Democrat vote riggers and scammers are out of business. Number 2 solution. Secondly, we have free speech in America, but that should not apply to communism. We cannot allow anarchy or insurrection or communist color revolutions in this country. Communism is not free speech. Communism is pure evil. It has no place in America or American society. Preaching communism is revolution, insurrection, a violent coup, the overthrow of America, American exceptionalism, American values, democracy, capitalism, the rule of law, and the U.S. Constitution. Communism would overthrow all of that. The DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, hate America, democracy, and capitalism. They want to overthrow our government. They want to destroy the U.S. Constitution. They want to eliminate police and prisons. They preach hatred towards white people, towards American patriots, towards Jews and Christians. Communism always ends in mass misery and poverty. Enslavement of the citizens, mass arrest, torture, mass murder, concentration camps called re-education camps, and the end of free speech. The DSA is therefore a domestic terrorist organization and the enemy of America. They are funded by globalist communists and our foreign enemies, in particular China and the Chinese Communist Party. President Trump must designate the DSA, right, the Democrat Socialists of America, and the Communist Party of America, and other socialist, Marxist, and communist organizations as domestic terrorists and enemies of the United States. Ban them, disband them, and deport their foreign leaders. This is the only way to deal with the threat of communism. Send them packing out of the USA. Make it known from now on, no communists or communist supporters are allowed in this country. America is a communist-free zone. Number 3, foreign communists turned legal immigrants like Mayor Mandami, Ilhan Omar, and all their communist DSA buddies who preach hate and violence and Jew hate and tell their followers to not comply with the laws of America and the U.S. Constitution must be arrested, have their citizenship revoked, and deported. It's easy to prove they lied their citizenship interviews. They never disclosed they were communists, hated America, hated Jews, hated Christians, and wanted to overthrow the United States of America. Out they go. Number 4, President Trump must ban Sharia law permanently in America. No group of immigrants has a right to impose any system that has authority over American law or the U.S. Constitution. Anyone who thinks they can come to America and ignore our laws, install their own set of laws, and overthrow or conquer America should be banned from America and deported if they get in. From this point on, mandate that all potential legal immigrants to America must pledge loyalty to our laws and our U.S. Constitution, and no one who disagrees should be allowed into our country. No one who preaches hate towards Jews or Christians should be allowed into America, even to visit as tourists. All visas must be denied. If any immigrant is determined to have lied about these views, they will have their citizenship revoked and be immediately deported. We can never allow hatred for Jews or Christians in America. This hate speech has got to be stamped out immediately. Number 5, stop accepting insurrection. If Democrat politicians encourage illegal aliens to hide from ICE, warn illegals when ICE is coming, encourage illegals to not comply with ICE, hinder ICE, or aid and abet illegal alien criminals in any way, arrest these politicians and government officials. Once and for all, it's time for arrests. It's time to send a strong message. If politicians and government officials preach non-compliance with the laws of America or help criminals illegally in our nation to evade capture, they are committing criminal acts and must be arrested. No one is above the law. If President Trump takes these 5 actions, all 77 million Trump voters in MAGA Nation will back him and stand with him to the end of time. We have your back, President Trump, forever. This is the only way to save America, protect America from her enemies, her evil enemies, stop rigged and stolen elections, stop the left's non-stop insurrection, and make America great again. MAGA. So I hope you agree with me. That's the way to do it. President Trump needs to have the balls, and I know he's got balls, but he needs even stronger balls to institute these 5 actions. But if you listen to Wayne Root on this one, these 5 actions will absolutely save America and make America great again. And I got a bunch of stories today to back it all up. But before I get to them, I want to mention what I think is the news story of the day. Senator Rand Paul, released Anthony Fauci's diary. I don't know where he gets these things. I have no idea why any moron would keep a diary. But if they do keep a diary, I have no idea why they'd let you see it. But Fauci's newly released COVID diaries reveal a bizarre fixation on fame as pandemic deaths mounted. So it was like, today, 50,000 Americans got COVID and 10,000 of them died. And then he writes in the diary, but I was on CNN. I think I'm famous. I think more people know me than the president. And then another time he says, people are dying left and right, but more people now talk about me than anyone in the world. I think more than President Trump. Oh, my God. Fauci's a sick man. A sick man. That's going to be one of my future commentaries. Fauci needs to be indicted, arrested, tried for treason, tried for mass murder, tried for crimes against humanity, and then if found guilty, see, I'm a nice guy, if found guilty, if jury appears and a judge, if it's all done the right way, hung. He needs the death penalty. Fauci's a sick man who murdered millions of people. He's a megalomaniac. And by the way, I'm the world's biggest dog lover, and he killed beagles. He tortured them and killed them for years. He killed AIDS orphans long before it ever got to COVID. This crazy man. And here he is looking in the mirror talking about how famous he is while supposedly millions are dying from COVID, which, by the way, they didn't die from COVID. They died from his response to COVID. His ventilators that were horrible. His drugs given in the hospital that killed people, and he knew it. And he refused. He badmouthed and demonized and destroyed and poisoned the world's minds against ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, the only 2 things he knew would work and that were cheap and effective. And then he gave us vaccines that killed us all and mandated them. This man is a crazed mass murderer, crimes against humanity committing guy, and he's a megalomaniac who wanted to be famous while he was killing people. This guy is crazy. I'm sure Hitler's proud. I'm sure Stalin's proud. And I'm sure Charles Manson is clapping for this crazy nut job that mass murdered and nobody's going after him. Go after Fauci. He deserves the death penalty. I'd like him to be hung on national TV while we all clap and give a standing ovation. All right, so back to my column about the things wrong with America, which is Islam and this radical Islamic nutjob, Mamdani. Left-wing activists rush to defend Islamic migrants after attack on the Berlin Pride Parade. Big story, okay? This Islamic nutjob attacks a gay pride parade in Berlin, and they caught him and killed him. Thank God. Thank God they killed him. I'm surprised there's no MLM instead of Black Lives Matter, Muslim Lives Matter. I'm surprised there aren't Muslim Lives Matter protests all over Germany and the United States. Because why did the police have to kill the poor man? Why? Why? Just like the black guy in Madison, Wisconsin. Right? There's protests because they killed a black guy who's got a rap sheet this long, right? And he tried to kill a policeman with a knife, and they shot him dead. You know what I say? Standing ovation. God bless America. Not because they killed a black man. I don't give a crap about the color of his skin. They killed a violent criminal that needed to be eliminated from society. They did a great job. Standing ovation. Man, there's something mentally wrong with black leaders and the black followers who are brainwashed, mesmerized, who protest over a criminal try to kill a policeman with a rap sheet a mile long who's committed crimes his whole life. He gets killed, you should be cheering. Because all you've got in this country is black on black murder. It's everywhere. Blacks murdering blacks. So this is one less guy to kill black people. This was a favor for the black race. But I'm surprised there isn't a Muslim Lives Matter movement that says you shouldn't have killed this guy. Here he is killing people, mowing them down at a gay parade. And yet, who's together in this country? Communists, Muslims, and gays. Gays and transgenders. Oh, I love the Muslims. These morons, they would, first they'd rape you with a pipe. And then once they make you bleed so bad, you're bleeding to death from your you-know-what, then they throw you off the 6-story window. You stupid, gay, transgender, clueless, ignorant morons. They hate you, and they want to kill you. I didn't download the story because I don't know where it is. I just saw it over the weekend while I was on my phone. I didn't have a chance. I just realized now it came back to me. There's a transgender man or woman, whatever it is, there's an it that left the United States because we all hate transgenders so much. You know, I don't like transgenders. I don't want them in front of me. You make me want to vomit. But I don't want to kill you, and I don't want to hurt you. I wouldn't touch a hair on your head. I don't hurt anyone who isn't trying to hurt me. I've never hurt a transgender. I've never hurt a gay person. I've never stopped you from getting a job. That's the difference. Conservatives don't like you, but we never hurt you. And this transgender it left America, went to the Netherlands, I believe. I'm pretty sure that was the story, the Netherlands. And then, of course, you're a poor nothing without 2 cents who arrives as an immigrant in the Netherlands. So they stuck him in a migrant center. And all the migrants are trying to murder him. And now he's screaming, with that usual effeminate drivel. They're going to hurt me. They're going to kill me. Take me back to America. Oh, my God. You transgenders, man. You don't get it. I don't like you, but I would never hurt you. As a matter of fact, I would kill the guy trying to hurt you. Okay? If someone in front of me said some Muslim in front of me said he was going to kill a transgender, I'd shoot the Muslim dead and protect the transgender from a violent, crazed Muslim with a weapon. Absolutely. Only with a weapon, of course. I don't shoot people who are unarmed. So the point or a Muslim mob, the point I'm trying to make is, we don't like you. We think you're weird. We think you're mentally ill when you're transgender. We think you're a nut job. But nobody would hurt a hair on your head in the conservative movement. We don't want to kill you. We don't even want to kick you out of the country. You can come back and survive just fine here. But when you're in a building filled with migrants, especially Muslim migrants, which is who migrants are in the Netherlands, they're all Muslim, they're going to kill you. Well, actually, they're going to rape you first because, we all know secretly the reason Muslims hate gays so much is because Muslims are all gay. but that's besides the point. We'll move on from that. As an example, Obama. There's your best example, gay Muslim. All right. Left-wing activists rush to defend the Islamic migrants after attack on the Berlin Day parade. I wonder how gays feel about that. Are you happy about the fact that they defend Muslims who get in their car and try and run down and murder gay people? I wonder how you feel about that. Unbelievable. And here is a vibrant Florida grandma. Is our time up in this segment? Oh, a vibrant Florida grandma killed by an illegal immigrant. You have to say allegedly. Allegedly killed by an illegal immigrant outside a Publix supermarket. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's Publix or Publix because I don't live in Florida or the South, so I've never anything to do with their supermarket chain. But he was killed outside a supermarket, and vibrant Florida grandma killed by illegal immigrant. Unbelievable. And these are These are illegal immigrants who have no right to be in the country, have no right to be breathing our air, have no right to be walking on our ground, and yet they're killing Americans. How do you feel about that? You know, I thought about this. I was going to write a commentary over the weekend, never got a chance. Remember when COVID was hitting and all the newspapers, even the local Las Vegas Review-Journal that I used to write for, but they fired me at the very start of COVID because, get this, the editor said, I didn't take it seriously enough. Oh, I didn't take it seriously enough. I didn't want to shut down the Strip. I didn't want to wear a mask, and I was never going to get vaccinated, but I didn't take it seriously enough. You killed everyone with those things. You made them depressed. They committed suicide, or they got major depression. They went on drugs, and they died. Or they died from the COVID vaccine. Or they died because they couldn't breathe, because they lived for a year with masks on their face. They're basically suffocating, giving no oxygen to every organ in their body. You were a killer. You believed in things like that. I said, don't do it. I was right about everything. And they fired me. Well, anyway, the Las Vegas Review-Journal used to put on the front page a list of people who got COVID today and how many died. And the newspapers all over America did that. And the news stations did that, ABC, NBC, CBS. They had the death count. Why don't we ask them to put the death count of illegal immigrants killing Americans on the screen? How about that one? Why don't you put today in America how many illegals murdered Americans, how many illegals robbed Americans, how many illegals raped Americans, how many illegals sold drugs to Americans and were arrested for it, and how many illegals sold drugs to Americans and how many Americans died from the drugs sold to them by illegal aliens. That should be in the corner of the news screen if they were honest. But it turns out all those people they said were dying of COVID were a lie. Every one of them, for the most part, was a lie. They weren't dying of COVID. They were dying of suicide. They were dying of car accidents. They were dying on their motorcycles. They were mugged or murdered. And you said they died of COVID because you wanted the $50,000, every hospital wanted the $50,000 bonus. It was all lies. The COVID count was never anywhere near what newspapers and the media showed and TV news showed. So you're exaggerators. You're liars. You created panic and hysteria with lies and propaganda and gaslighting. And all I want is the truth. How many illegals have killed, raped, murdered Americans today in the United States? Whether they murdered them or whether they sold them drugs and killed them with fentanyl. How many? Love to have that in the corner of every news show. All right, as we end this segment, Lost Soldier Oil and Gas is the sponsor, headed by oil and gas legend Mark Bruner, whose companies have created more than $15 billion in shareholder value. At its peak, his company, Penteco Energy, grew about 100 to 1 for investors, and Ultra Petroleum soared 1,000 to 1. It's one of the biggest hits in the history of Wall Street. A $10,000 investment turned into $13 million over 10 years. Could you live with that? Could you invest $10,000 and have it turn into $13 million? In my lifetime, every friend I've got has invested $10,000 in something, stocks, real estate, whatever it was, and they turned $10,000 into like $5,000. The ones who hit it turned $10,000 into $12,000. Wow! Don't spend it all at once. You made $2,000. That should get you up there with Bill Gates. How many people ever turned $10,000 to $13 million? Mark Bruner's investors did. But Lost Soldier could be much bigger than Ultra Petroleum, with what could be the largest gas discovery in the United States in 100 years, says Mark. It's a 40,000-acre territory in Wyoming. Took 40 years to piece together, and just the first 4,000 feet drilled so far estimated to contain up to 6 trillion cubic feet of gas. To learn more about Lost Soldier Oil and Gas, go to lostsoldier.com, lostsoldier.com. Fill out the contact form. They'll get right back to you, show you how to get involved in the opportunity, how to invest. lostsoldier.com. And I don't talk about things unless I personally love them, and I am invested personally in Lost Soldier Oil and Gas. I put a big amount of money in, and I believe this is my retirement home run. But, you know, no guarantees in life. If you lose, you lose. If you snooze, you lose, though, too. So don't snooze. lostsoldier.com. All right, we'll be right back. This is Warzone Live, the official podcast of the Gateway Pundit. RootForAmerica.com is my website. I know. You don't have to point. I know. I'm getting there. Patar is always pointing at the phone number. RootForAmerica.com is my website. WayneRoot@gmail.com is my email. And as Patar has demanded, and I always listen to Patar, 1-800-347-ROOT. I got to mention the phone number on my show, America Speaks, coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. America Speaks on the YouTube channel of Real America's Voice TV. It is live, and you can call in and ask me any question you want, make any comment you want. 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-7668. Or on that same number, leave voicemails 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll read your voicemails on the air. If you're afraid of me, and I know many of you are, 800-347-ROOT, 800-347-ROOT. You know, just before the show started, some idiot sent me some Nazi comments about me being a Jew, and he'd like to screw me, he'd like to kill me, he'd like to deport me out of the country. You know, I answered him. I said, you're used to Jews that got on trains in Nazi Germany. I'm a different kind of Jew. I hope I get to meet you in a dark alley someday. I'll show you what kind of Jew I am. Good luck to you, buddy. I will hammer this mother trucker. He has no idea who he's talking to. I'm 65 years old. If he's 20, I'll beat the crap out of him. You Nazi scumbag. Try that crap on me. You got the wrong guy. I'm called a tough Jew. We're not like the old pussies of the old days. I'm Wayne Allyn Root, and I'm no pussy. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Wayne Allyn. Hi, I'm Wayne Allyn Root from Vertical Research Advisory, VRA, Kip Herridge's one-of-a-kind global investment and economic newsletter. Listen up. Trump is in charge. The glory days are here.
Growth rates are only going to grow from here.
This is your 4-year window to make a fortune and set up your retirement for the rest of your life. Kip wins whether the markets are up or down, whether the economy is up or down.
We set our folks up for long-term success.
For 21 years, Kip's been a friend, as well as my personal financial advisor. During that time, he's beaten the markets 86% of the time, while the average Wall Street money manager loses to the market 90% of the time. Now Kip is predicting a new golden age for the economy. Let Kip prove it to you for free. Kip's offering his daily VRA investment letter completely free for 2 weeks. Free for 2 weeks. Try it for 2 weeks. I know you'll stay for life. Join now at VRAinsider.com. Hey, Wayne Allyn Root, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America Speaks. All right, Wayne Allyn Root, the Root's on fire. Welcome back to the show. Before I get to my esteemed guest, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, I'd like to mention the sponsor of this segment, Jim's Amazing Bread. This is a personal story that changed my life. I'm so allergic to wheat and gluten and grains that I had to give up bread, and I didn't eat one slice of bread for about 10 years, since 2014 to 2024. Late 2024, and then I found Jim's Amazing Bread. I found it online, and it changed my life, and I've been eating bread ever since for the last year and a half. I've been eating bread, and I love it. It's like a taste of heaven. I eat toast for breakfast and sandwiches for lunch with no allergy or stomach issues. What makes Jim's bread, Amazing Bread, so amazing is it was inspired by Jim's daughter, who was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, and the loving father was determined to create a delicious, all-natural, digestion-friendly bread. Unlike other gluten-free breads, it's not gluten-free. It's actually, this one works with people who have gluten allergies, but it's not gluten-free. It's regular bread. It's the way he makes it. He found a gently crushed whole cell wheat that keeps gluten cells from activating, and the result is a soft, wholesome wheat bread that's easier to digest. Customers with gluten sensitivity, blood sugar issues, gut health issues, inflammation issues, and some autoimmune diseases have found tremendous relief. For me, it's a miracle. I can eat bread again. and there's 5 grams of fiber in every slice. Try Jim's Amazing Bread today. Jim'sAmazingBread.com. Jim'sAmazingBread.com. I hope it changes your life the way it changed mine. Gives you a lot of pleasure to be able to eat bread again. Thank you, Jim, for Jim'sAmazingBread.com. All right, Joe Gruters is with us, chairman of the Republican National Committee. I guess you could say, other than President Trump, that would make him the most important Republican in the United States of America. That's a pretty good title, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Wayne. And listen, you probably have never met me before, but I used to watch you from afar as the original OG on the Trump campaign. Back in 2015, I was the Florida chairman with Susie Wiles in Florida, and I would watch you all the time on TV, go to bat for the president. You did an amazing job that first campaign, and so I've never forgot everything that you did. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And of course, I thank you because I had my 65th birthday party last Sunday. It was Wayne Root Day in the city of Las Vegas, and I had a beautiful letter from the president and a beautiful letter from you as the chairman of the Republican National Committee thanking me for all I've done for Trump and MAGA and the GOP. And this is what I've done my whole life. I've bled for the GOP my entire life. I love the GOP. I don't love rhinos, but I love the GOP, and I love what at least it what's the right way I want to say this? What it thinks it is, freedom and capitalism and economic freedom and personal freedom and secure borders and lower taxes and less regulations. That's what it should stand for. I think that's what it does stand for. But there's a lot of Republicans that unfortunately kind of when push comes to shove in the Senate, they don't vote for those things. But I agree with all the things the Republican Party stands for. I wish they would stick with them more often, but I love the Republican Party.
Well, listen, the president has transformed our party. We're a new party today, and you're a big reason why. And so, yeah, you should be celebrated. And the president's done an amazing job. And I think after November, when we get some of these new MAGA warriors in place of some of these old holdouts, I think we're going to be able to do a lot more.
Good, good. So look, if you've been watching my show, and you don't have time to do it now, but if you've been watching my podcast and my 2 TV shows on Real America's Voice TV and my nationally syndicated radio show, I got a lot of stuff going on every day, hours a day. The number one thing I talk about almost like nonstop is election integrity. And I don't believe, I know that elections are being stolen. I've always felt they've been stolen. I've said this for 10 years now, by illegal aliens and by giving illegals driver's licenses in 19 states plus Washington, D.C. They're automatically registered to vote. And if I was an illegal alien, you automatically registered me to vote, I would vote. And that's what they're doing. Of course that's what they're doing. Because if they vote Democrat, they get to stay. And they get big welfare checks. If they vote Republican, they get kicked out. So of course they're voting. And of course they're voting Democrat to save their own hides. So we need election integrity. We need proof of citizenship. We need voter photo ID. And I keep saying, I wish they passed the Save America Act, but it's really too late, and it doesn't really go far enough, in my opinion. It's kind of weak. I think we need a national security emergency for elections designated or declared by President Trump. I've argued this on TV for months now, almost every day for the last 4, 5, 6 months. National security emergency. And Joe, you don't know this, but in 2019, Trump had been president for like a year and a half. And I said we need a national security emergency for borders because Congress wouldn't give him the money to build the wall. So I sent President Trump this idea that he could do a national security emergency for borders, and that would allow him to grab the money from the Pentagon defense budget to build the wall and go over Congress's head. And this is the same thing. It's a national, and it worked. And this is a national emergency, national security emergency for elections, which would allow him to get all the same things in the SAVE Act, plus many more that would secure our elections and go right over Congress's head, right over the Senate's head. And you can't legally challenge it. Democrats can't take a national security emergency to court. The only way to beat it was a 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress. I don't know if you've heard about this idea. I don't know if you know it was my idea. I don't know if you believe in it. I just wanted to get your take on it.
Listen, I think it's a great idea because you're exactly right. They have been cheating. The Democrats cheat every single day. As a matter of fact, people always ask, what do we spend our money on? We have over 155 lawsuits active right now from coast to coast, 36 states, trying to stop the Democrats from cheating. I think we filed 2 new ones today. And it's because the Democrats will stop at nothing. They hold on to power and control. They know their grasp of this is losing because of their policies, and that the president has stolen, like, the average American worker out there who's been abandoned by the Democrats and Washington elitists over the last 5 decades. And so they do want tens of millions of illegals to come across the southern border, and they do want them to vote because that's their only way to win. But they cheat every day. We stop them. I mean, we have court victory after court victory, but they keep on trying to cheat, and we keep on suing. We'll continue to sue. And we drop the hammer everywhere we can. But it's not just litigation. You know, I would give credit to Laura Trump and Michael Whatley with the 2024 election integrity program that really stepped up the game big time. And we're going to follow that up in this 2026 cycle with over 6,000 attorneys, tens of thousands of volunteers all across the country. We have new election integrity grassroots chairs and grassroots chairs across the country within our existing framework. We're trying to do new things. I don't know if you know, my background is I've spent 24 years in the minor leagues of party politics doing the basic building blocks of building our party by registering voters and turning those voters out. We got to do that at a nationwide level if we're going to be successful, and I think we're well on our way.
Well, people don't understand, you know, we got cheated in 2020. I have no doubt in my mind Trump won in 2020. And by the way, the biggest reason I know that, Joe, and I say this all the time, nobody is ever willing to answer me. How did 5 states stop the vote at the same time? How did they coordinate on that? How did they know to do that? And then how did they say, let's stop it till the morning? And then they sent all the witnesses home. And then they started counting at 3 in the morning. And when he got back at 6 in the morning, they hadn't stopped the vote. They kept counting. And suddenly Trump was behind when he was ahead by hundreds of thousands before that. When no witnesses were in the room, suddenly hundreds of thousands to 0 went for Joe Biden. So I know they cheated, but people don't realize, how did we change it in 2024? You're looking at it. The Republican National Committee, you guys are doing a great job. You did a great job in 2024. You're going to do a great job in 2026. And I'm a big bettor, Joe. I live in Vegas and I make bets. I'm betting that we're going to win the midterms. Even though every poll shows we're losing badly, everyone's losing faith, I believe we're going to win the midterms. I have great faith in President Trump and you and the Republican National Committee to stop the fraud. And without fraud, I don't believe Democrats can win an election.
Wayne, they don't let me bet on the predictive markets because I'm an insider, but I can tell you and tell your listeners, if go to Kalshi or Coinbase or Robinhood, any of those sites, go and bet on us winning the midterms because, listen, don't take my word for it. Go to the Cook Political Report. That's a nonpartisan website. We'll tell you exactly where the races are. Because the Democrats have gerrymandered for the last 3 decades, and what we did over the last year and a half, there's very few competitive races. As a matter of fact, the Cook Political Report says there's 19 toss-up races. They're giving us 212 races to start. That means we need 6 of those 19 to hold on to the majority. And we have better candidates, because the president has endorsed a lot of these MAGA warriors who are fit for the district they're running in. We have the resources that we need to be successful. We're doing things that have never been done before, like the midterm convention. I call it Trumpapalooza, to highlight all the amazing things this president has done. And then we're going to go barnstorm the country with the president, just like what he's doing today in Michigan. We're going to hit these competitive districts. He's going to once again bring these low propensity voters out. And we're going to defy history only for the 5th time in 150 years. And we're going to do that by bringing together our voters as a united faction in our efforts to win the people over with general common sense versus the crazy and communism radical leftists that the left are putting up. I mean, they've given us a great gift. We're going to take advantage of it. So yeah, you're right, Wayne, to bet. I would tell your listeners to put some money on us because you could go on your next vacation for free.
I made a big bet in 2016, and I think it was 8-1 odds, if I remember correctly, on Trump. So I made a fortune, and I made a fortune in 2024 with a big bet on Trump, but I lost a fortune in 2020. And I got to tell you, Joe, because I'm a betting expert, I was watching the betting as it happened live on my computer in 2020. Trump started the night as a slight underdog to Joe Biden, and then within minutes he went to even. Then within minutes he went to 2-1 favorite, 4-1 favorite, 6-1 favorite, 8-1 favorite, 10-1 favorite. It was over. And at that moment, that he was 10-1 and the betting numbers were telling you the race was over, Trump won, that's the moment where the 5 states said we're stopping the counting. And it immediately dropped down to 2-1 and then to Biden a favorite again. And I said, oh my God, they've stolen the election. You could see it in betting terms on your screen. Nobody's ever been 10-1 and lost in the history of any election, Joe. So Trump, looking at the numbers late at night, was a 10-1 favorite running away with it when they stopped the count. That's the key, how everyone knew that a steal was coming, and all of a sudden, all the betting money came on Biden at that moment. I'm telling you, they knew the steal was in.
Yeah, they knew, and they cheated, and they continue to cheat because they believe the end justifies the means, and so they'll do whatever it takes. But that's why we have to be vigilant and alert and be willing to drop the hammer every single day, which is exactly what we do.
All right, good. Look, I'm so happy to have met you, because now that I talk to you, I know that we're in good hands, because you are the right guy to be doing this, Joe. I could see it. I could feel it. I'm a gut instinct guy. I made thousands of predictions on this show, and I've never been wrong. I'm batting just about 1,000, and you are the right guy. Thank God we have you in that position. And I think we're going to win the midterms. I feel even better about it, so I'm going to make a bigger bet now. Let's talk about the Democrat Socialists of America. So I've got a commentary coming out tomorrow. I read it on the show to start the show today. And, look, I believe in free speech. I've always believed in free speech. Everyone should say what they want to say. You could be conservative. You could be liberal. You could be independent. You could be Democrat. You could be Republican. But I don't believe communism is free speech. I think communism is anti-Americanism. Communism, where the DSA says out loud they want to kill the Constitution, they want to end police, and they want to end prisons. I'm telling you, communism never ends well. It's evil. It ends in mass poverty. It ends in mass murder. It ends in mass torture. It ends with a knock on the door in the middle of the night and they drag your husband away and you never see him again. Communism should be banned in America. I think Trump should declare the DSA, Mandami and his friends, the Democrat Socialists of America, he should declare them, designate them as a terrorist organization and enemies of the United States, communism as an enemy of the United States of America. I don't think we should allow these people to run for office. They want to destroy our country. It's suicide.
Well, they want to fundamentally change our country. It's basically a coup from within. But the crazy thing is 50% of the Democrats are in favor of this. But this is what happens when you have Mandami and AOC and Bernie Sanders in control of a party. These guys are radical leftists, and they're winning these races. They've inspired all these cuckoo birds from around the country to run, and now they're winning. They're winning these seats in middle America. And but the good thing is they're giving us a lot of favorable matchups. But the bad thing in reality is this is what the Democrat Party has turned into. And I was talking to Newt Gingrich. He was in my office this week, and we were talking about the fact that we both think the Democrat Party is in a death spiral. I don't know if they could pull out of it, because I think they're going to go, they're obviously controlled by these radical leftists, and they're going to continue to go further and further away from middle America and where I think people want to be. And so, yes, and you could believe them when they say it. I mean, their chairman or vice chairman was just on TV saying they want to get rid of the border, they want to get rid of the U.S. Senate, get rid of the U.S. Supreme Court, and I think the presidency, get rid of ICE, get rid of all criminal penalties and getting rid of jails, amnesty for all. I mean, think about how crazy and moronic that these guys are actually saying it, and they're getting people to buy in. But it goes to show you that we have to do a better job of messaging and making sure that people know that common sense is still alive and that everybody has the chance to achieve the American dream. But it's through these policies that the president's pushing, like the working family tax cuts, no tips on overtime, Social Security, and tips. And he's really gone to bat for the American worker. And you're not going to see all the trillions of dollars that he got people to invest in the tariffs and these fair trade policies, which help us. You know, you say, okay, short-term price increases maybe. But it creates jobs, and they're finally bringing jobs and things back to America. We shipped our jobs overseas for 5 decades.
Right.
Gutting the middle America. We got to do a better job. This president has a second chance at life after Butler, Pennsylvania, and he's taking full advantage of it and trying to do everything he can to make sure America survives for the next 250 years.
You'll get a kick out of this. So I'm a son of a butcher. I'm an SOB, son of a butcher. And my dad, the butcher, was a very common sense guy, and he was one of the original founders of the New York State Conservative Party. When there was no such thing, he founded it in 1962. I was born in 61. He founded it in 62 with a group of renegade Republicans who said we're not conservative enough. And my dad had a saying in those days. And the saying works today. I'm telling you, this is how we win over the middle class and working class. My dad, all those years ago, said, the Republican Party isn't the party of the rich. They're the party of anyone who ever hopes to be rich or hopes their children to be rich. And it was funny because I said that on Fox News in 2012, and the next day Mitt Romney on his presidential campaign quoted me and said that exact line. And I'm telling you, it works today, Joe. We are the party of working class and middle class because you can never, ever become rich if you don't believe in capitalism and economic freedom. And we're the party of capitalism and economic freedom. It's the only way to rise above. It's the only thing that gives you mobility.
Amen to that. You're exactly right. And that's the message we got to get out there to the American people.
Yeah, and I saw President Trump quoted the other day that Democrat cities are going to be the ghettos of the future. I've been saying that for a long time. You know, when you see all the people moving out of blue cities and blue states, and they're all moving to red states, we've won this battle, but the media won't say it out loud. We're winning the communications battle. You can't say we're losing when everyone's leaving California, New York, Illinois, and they're all running to my state, Nevada, or Texas, or Florida, or Tennessee, or South Carolina. We must be winning because everyone is saying, I got to get the hell away from these people. Even when it's a beautiful state with sunshine and beaches and palm trees, they're running away from it to the desert in Las Vegas because they can't stand the liberal politics and the taxes.
And that's why the Democrats are in the death spiral. You just hit the nail on the head because the Republicans are fleeing these blue states, and we're going to win We're going to win this midterm cycle. We're going to defy history. We're going to win in 2028. We're going to have a census without non-citizen voters included. And this migration that's happened to the red states, it's going to produce another 30 to 40 seats. And these seats are no longer competitive. It's over for the D's. We just have to do our job. We have to come together. We have to believe as a party and stay united. And although there's some holdouts in the Senate preventing the president from getting some of these policies done, once we get past November, we're going to have enough MAGA warriors to do things like pass the Save America Act, to get rid of the filibuster, to do things that are really going to set our country up for the future.
I don't agree with you 100%. I agree with you 180%. But the problem is we got to get by November. In other words, Democrats know that, Joe. They know that if we win in November and we keep up the mass deportation and keep the border secure and make elections fair and have integrity again, they're never going to win again. But if they can win in 2026 midterm and then win in 2028, it's the exact opposite. We're dead. So we've got to get to 28, win it, and then change that census to have no illegals in it in 2030. We'll dominate for the rest of all time. But we've got to get there. So this is the key. Midterm is the whole ball of wax, in my opinion.
You're exactly right. That's why losing is not an option.
Not an option.
We're going to win. We're going to win by doing things differently. The president knows what's at stake. You already saw what happened during the shutdown. And there's going to be investigations. There's going to be obstruction. There's going to be impeachments. It's going to be disaster. It's going to be chaos. That's what they want. We can't let it happen. We have to win. We have the candidates in place. We have the money. We have the messaging. We have everything we need. We just need people to come together. Tell everybody that's watching this program or listening, go to GOP.com. Get involved with your local GOP, your local Republican Party. Give us your time and treasure and help us save the world, because we're not just saving the country. We're literally saving the world.
The media isn't even reporting, by the way. Last thing, and then I'll let you run. But, your counterpart with the RNC, Joe Gruder's the chairman of the Republican National Committee. The counterpart is the DNC. They're bankrupt. They're completely bankrupt. They have no money for this campaign. They're mortgaging their headquarters to try and get a small loan that still doesn't compare with the money that you've raised in the RNC. So this midterm, when they claim Democrats have got it, it's locked, that is just not true.
Yeah, what a bunch of morons. It goes further than that. Not only did they mortgage their building, they're having their officers sign NDAs because they don't want them talking about money. Supposedly, they're asking their vendors to hold them until after the election. These guys are living in a pipe dream. But besides the fact that we have a massive advantage, we have the most cash on hand in the history of the Republican Party. Wow. Number one. Number two, with the Supreme Court ruling on coordinated campaign limits that came down 2 weeks ago, that makes our money 3 times as valuable. We are now able to coordinate directly with all these federal campaigns. Never been done before. Nobody's talking about it. It's the biggest thing to happen in campaigns in decades. We will be able to directly coordinate with our candidates, and we'll be able to spend at the candidate rate, which makes our money worth 3 times as much. We have to win. We have to obliterate these guys. Losing is not an option. We have to have everybody come together for the greater good and to support this president.
And that's the argument I make every day. There's a lot of people in this party and a lot of my fans and I do a lot of interviews outside of my own shows and a lot of hosts and a lot of podcasters. They always have something negative to say about Trump. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that, or I don't agree with something. And I go, but do you understand the alternative? In the end, I said, it's like a woman who has a choice of marrying a guy who isn't perfect versus a guy who's like a wife beater and he murdered his last 2 wives. Would you take the guy who wasn't perfect? Would you take the murderer? There's no choice here but to vote Republican. I don't care if you disagree on 1 issue, 2 issues, or 5 issues. The Democrat Party is a non-starter. You can't vote Democrat because you're voting for communism. You're voting for radical Islam conquering the United States of America. You're voting for open borders and a foreign invasion. You're voting for transgender, your son and daughter to change their sex. You're voting for insanity. There's only one choice. We got to win the midterms. You got to literally, no matter how much you disagree on 1 issue here or there, you've got to vote Republican as a team. We have to stick together. Floor's yours. Last sentence.
100%, Wayne. We got to come together. It's common sense versus crazy and communism. Join us. Give us your time and treasure. Go get involved with your local party. Let's do this for the president so we can serve a full 4 years. The best is yet to come. And thank you for all you do, Wayne. Really appreciate you.
I'm fighting hard, man. I'm fighting with everything I got. I'm fighting like a cornered Wolverine, Joe. That's the way you got to fight. Like your life depends on it, as I say all the time on this show, because it does. It really does. The future of your children depends on us winning the midterms. GOP. Go GOP. Thank you, Joe Grudert. You're the best.
Thank you.
God bless. We'll be right back. I'll have a quick close to the show, and then we're out of here. Wayne Allyn Root with Warzone Live. All right, I'm joined by Kip Herridge, my old buddy, an economic expert, CEO of Vertical Research Advisory. His website, VRAinsider.com. As I've explained on this show so many times, VRA has beaten the market in 19 of the last 22 years since Kip founded the VRA in 2003. Over the last 3 years, VRA had an average gain of 37%. Kip, congratulations on your success. I've seen it firsthand for over 22 years. I've read your newsletter for the last 22 plus years. You're my personal financial expert. How do you guys keep beating the markets almost every year when 90% of Wall Street money managers fail to do so?
Well, thanks, Wayne. I worked in that environment for 15 years, worked at Wall Street 15 years, helped take 7 companies public, raised and managed several $100 million. And I know how the groupthink of Wall Street works, and that's not how people make money. 90% of money managers, as you say, don't beat the markets every year. We do. And the reason really is I had great mentors that helped me to create what we call our VRA investing system. It's our proprietary market timing and sector selection system that tells us when to be in the market, when to be out, when to be aggressive, and when to take some profits and take some money to cash. And that helps us with our sector selection. Again, market timing, those are real keys. And we also love doing individual stock research. So that's where you put our clients and subscribers into, again, ETFs, individual stocks. And we also love Bitcoin and gold, as you know, and silver. In 2003, I recommended gold at $350 an ounce, silver at $5. We recommended Bitcoin at $2,000 in 2017. And combined with those three, we're up over 4,000% in gains for our 40 times your money for our subscribers. So we do things a little differently. Fifth and sixth generation native Texans, and we love what we do here in Texas.
Well, I'm a witness to all of it. I've been there for all of it. There's a lot of fear out there today, Kip. What should investors know about the stock market right now?
Yeah, you got to be in this market. That's what investors should know. Look, volatility is the price of admission. It just is. It comes with the territory. But these dips give us great buying opportunities. Look, we've been the most bullish market strategists in America for the last 4 years. We call this the innovation revolution meets the Trump economic miracle meets an absolute ocean of liquidity. Those are our big three. Again, Trump's economic miracle this year is really going to start paying its dues. We expect GDP growth to hit 5% this year. We expect the markets to, we think this bull market runs into the 2030s.
All right, everyone gets 2 weeks free automatically by going to VRAinsider.com. 2 weeks free. Judge for yourself. VRAinsider.com. Kip Herriage, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right, Wayne Allyn Root, I got to tell you, after hearing from Joe Gruters of the Republican National Committee, I believe more than ever that America is it's divided. There's no question it's divided, and it's bitterly divided. But it's not divided 50-50. I think we're like 55-45 Republican, conservative, patriots. And I think it's 45, commies, progressives, socialists, Marxists, all the words you want to use to describe what really are communists. They're a bunch of commies and a bunch of clueless morons. It's not as divided as you think, as in 50-50 exactly even. There's many more Republicans, but the media just lies. The polls are fake. The news is fake. Nobody even realizes that the guy, Graham Plattner, I guess was his name, up in Maine with the Nazi symbol on his chest, and all the women saying he degraded me and abused me, Democrats wanted him and voted for him. They had no problem with him because they didn't even know. The news came out. And then he dropped out, right? And the news came out 2 weeks ago. He dropped out after a woman actually said, no, he didn't abuse me. He raped me. And the woman was a credible Democrat, a liberal activist. So that's when it all was cratered and he was gone. But the point was, we already knew for 8 or 9 months that he was abusing women and that he had a Nazi tattoo. But nobody else knew it, but people who are inside baseball like me, or you listen to my show. But other than that, nobody knew it, because it turns out the two biggest news sources in America, I believe, are Apple and Google. Everyone gets the news on their iPhone. I got an iPhone, so does everybody else, on Apple. And everybody gets their news on Google. And Apple and Google both had not one story in like 8 or 9 months about this guy having a Nazi tattoo or abusing women. So nobody even knows the truth about anything. They just lie about everything. It's all gaslighting. It's all fraud. It's all lies. It's amazing. And this Grayer-Plattner situation is just one more great example that shows you you're not getting the real news. But I think it's not just that the people are getting misinformation, because otherwise that 45% that's Democrat, that wouldn't even be 45. It might be like 15. But there's so much lies and misinformation and fraud and gaslighting sent to Democrats, or sent to people who then become Democrats and vote Democrat. They'd be at like 15% if anyone just told the truth, But also, it shows you if they're lying about that, they're lying about the polls too. It's not as close as you think. This country is mostly Republican. Most people still have Judeo-Christian values. Most people still believe in secure borders. Most people still believe in the great American middle class. Most people believe in American exceptionalism. Most people like the police and the military. This is not a country that's ever going to go communist unless the media convinces you that a candidate who's communist is a good guy. And see, to me, that's Exhibit A. That's Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a communist and, I believe, a Muslim. Certainly a Muslim sympathizer, but I think that's ridiculous. He's a Muslim. Barack Obama is as Muslim as you get and as communist as you get. But he had a nice smile. He always wore a suit and a tie, so he screamed credibility. He was an articulate speaker, and he knew how to say things that sounded moderate and not extreme. And then he would then implement things that were extreme, like Obamacare, but make it sound like it's the most wonderful thing in the world. He wasn't a bomb thrower, right? As soon as they learn how to have candidates like that, and they're learning, they're running a lot of people like that, sadly. They run a lot of military and ex-CIA. They run people who were in the military and look like military guys. You expect them to be patriots, and what comes out of their mouth is basically communism. So they're learning, unfortunately, that it's all about running candidates who look credible and look like patriots. And that was the lesson you learned from Obama. Can you imagine Obama winning for president of the United States with a name like Barack Hussein Obama? But they painted him as a moderate and a nice guy, and his wife and his kids and his dog. You thought he was a good, I didn't, but you thought he was a good guy. A lot of people thought he was a good guy. He was not a good guy. As a matter of fact, I would argue he's absolutely a communist. He's almost certainly a Muslim, and I believe he's gay. So we elected a gay communist Muslim president of the United States. That's incredible. It shows you how far you can go if you look good and sound good. And so Democrats run people that look good and sound good, but they're communists or they're gay or they're Muslim, and you don't know it. Well, now they're dumb enough to run people who do those things and say them out loud. Hey, I'm proud to be a gay communist Muslim. That's not going to work in the long run. It'll work to get him elected in a Democrat district, like in New York. These crazy people win in a place where everyone is a immigrant and everyone is illegal and everyone's a Muslim and everyone's a communist. So, of course, they can win in that district. But let's see them win in the general United States of America. They're not gonna. So as long as they admit the truth, we can beat them. But the ones who lie and who look good and have military backgrounds, those are the ones that are hard to beat. They can be as communist as could be, but they act like they're moderate. You know who's like that? Mayor Pete Buttigieg is like that too. Mayor Pete Butthead of South Bend. He's like that too. He acts like he's a normal, everyday, nice American. And meanwhile, he takes, 3 months off while planes are crashing and people are in 3-hour lines at the airport. He takes maternity leave because he thinks he's breastfeeding his babies. Oh my God. I think it was such an exhausting experience to pop the babies out. Mayor Pete. These people are all mentally ill. They're nut jobs. Anyway, but he comes across as like you and me, normal. Like you'd like to have a beer with him. Hey, I'm a good guy. Boy, you give him power, he will end free speech. He will turn us into a communist dictatorship. All the people screaming about Trump being a fascist would turn America into a communist dictatorship in a New York minute. That's what they believe in, and that's why they scream about Trump being a fascist, because they believe in Saul Alinsky's saying, look in the mirror, and whatever you are, blame it on your opponent. So they want to end free speech, so they say, ooh, Trump's a fascist, Trump's terrible. Exactly what's Trump done to end free speech? Nothing. He's actually been way too fair. I want him to ban communism. That's the only free speech I want banned. That's the only thing in the whole world I want banned, is communism. You could say pretty much anything else. If you want to hate Jews, you want to hate whites, okay, you could say that. You're an idiot, but you could say it. But you can't preach communism in the United States of America. We need to be a communist-free zone. Communism needs to be declared domestic terrorism, an enemy of the United States of America. We need to literally designate it, the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, and the Communist Party of America as enemies of the United States and kick them out of this country. Bad, bad news. All right. As I say goodnight, let me mention the sponsor of the show, Tangible Investments. How important is it to own gold? China's central bank just increased their gold reserves for the 20th consecutive month, and it was the biggest one, I think, of all of them. China's prepared for what's coming. Are you? Why are they buying so much gold? Because they know they're causing trouble all over the world, and they know we let under Biden at least 200,000 or 300,000 Chinese military-age males into the United States. They're here to cause trouble. They're here to foment revolution. They're here to poison our water supply. They're here to cause infrastructure damage. They're terrorists. I'm telling you, we've made big mistakes. But buying gold is not the only answer. You need to buy gold at the right price. And that's where buyers get misled. Other gold companies say, we only charge 1% over cost. That is so misleading. Whose cost are you talking about? The question to ask is, what are you charging me over spot price? Then compare that answer to Tangible Investments. Tangible is offering gold bullion at 1% over spot, unheard of. Silver at 3% over spot, unheard of. They've been around for 40 years. They've handled more than $2 billion in transaction. Their team brings over 200 combined years of experience. If you want gold and silver and precious metals or rare coins from a real firm with real credibility and honest pricing, call Tangible Investments right now. Everyone needs to own some gold. Call Tangible Investments and make it happen. Toll free 888-330-4351, 888-330-4351, or go to rootforgold.com. Website they created just for my fans, rootforgold.com. Tell them War sent you. They'll treat you like a VIP. Rootforgold.com. That's it for tonight. Have a great night. God bless you. God bless Trump. God bless America. And viva my tax-free Las Vegas. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow. All right, one of my favorite guests ever, Allyn is with us, an advocate for GreatPatriotStore.com. He's been a customer for 36 years, almost 4 decades. My wife and I, Cindy, do much of our monthly shopping now at GreatPatriotStore.com. It's an alternative to wokeness. It's run by pro-American conservatives. USA Today voted it one of the best stores in America in 2025. And with all these communists taking over, Allyn Pariser, New York, Seattle, Chicago, promising cheap government groceries or free, you need to buy American. Tell us why.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of our competitors have completely lost it. They've gone totally woke over the years, but our founding axiom is really very simple. For 41 years, we've been focused on manufacturing exceptional products at reasonable prices, made by Americans here in America for Americans. And we've expanded. We have manufacturing plants across the United States, distribution plants across the United States. And not only can Americans get the best quality, the best price from Great Patriot Store, in most cases, we can deliver to your front door even faster than Amazon.
So prices are high everywhere. Procter & Gamble and Amazon are considering price increases. How do the prices at Great Patriot Store compare to national brands?
Well, we've got hundreds of products, Wayne, but if you just take a look at one like our laundry detergent, we make it, it's patented, and it's literally almost fractions, almost half the price of our competitors, and you get 96 loads of wash. It's the best value. There's no toxic chemicals in any of our products whatsoever. And if you're looking to lose some of those holiday pounds, you don't need the shots with the LPG-1 drugs. We have something called berberine. Nature's Ozempic is what people are calling it. It's legit, it works, and we've got it at a better price than any of our competitors.
All right, we've got just seconds to go, so be quick. I love your beef. I eat your sirloin and your New York steak all the time. It's kind of breakfast and lunch for me all the time. Why is your beef superior?
Made in America, never, ever any hormones, ever any antibiotics, no mRNA. It's all prime. It's the best quality that you can find at the best price, free shipping, and it's the best beef on the planet.
All right, to get your free gift, that's right, a free gift, purchase the beef and other great American products. You got to be a member. Go to GreatPatriotStore.com, fill out the form. One of their conservative team members will contact you right away. GreatPatriotStore.com. Happy New Year. Thank you, Allyn.
Thank you, Wayne. God bless.
Hey, Wayne Allyn Root, America Speaks. You call in and we talk about it. Your opinions, your comments, your questions. How do you call in? 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-7668. The show airs at midnight, East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific, but we tape it at 6 p.m. East Coast time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So you call in at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I talk to you, and it airs that night at midnight. The phone number again, 800-347-ROOT. That number is 24/7. You can leave voicemails. We play your voicemails on the air as well.
Hey, Wayne, what do you think about Obama?
He was a communist, socialist, Marxist radical.
I agree.
Or you can email me, wayneroot@gmail.com. I'll read your email live on the air with your comments or questions. America speaks.